Students, here I am going to discuss about the last portion of the gene transfer method in plants, and here I am going to discuss about the physical methods of gene transfer. That means the direct gene transfer without vector gene transfer, which is mediated by the physical processes. These methods includes the electroporation, microprojectile bombardment, microinjection, liposome fusion, silicon carbide fibers, ultrasonication, etc. So let's start. The electroporation technique. It is the process by which the electrical impulses of high field strength are used to reversibly permeabilize cell membrane to facilitate the uptake of large molecules, include DNA. And this has been used for the long time for transient and integrative transformation of protoplast and cells. Generally 1 to 1.5 kilovolts are used, electric pulses are used, which have the low capacitance and short decay time. So it can be used to deliver the DNA into plant cells at protoplast. The genes of interest require plant regulatory sequence, and that means the regulatory sequence containing foreign gene should be inserted into the cell, and so that the foreign gene can be regulated by its own mechanism, and the plant materials is incubated in a buffer solution containing the DNA and subjected to the high voltage electric pulse. The DNA is then migrated into the plant cells through the high voltage induced pores in the plasma membrane and integrates into the genome. It can be used to transform all the major cereals, particularly rice, wheats, and maize. The advantages and disadvantages are follows. Both intact cells and tissue can be transformed. The efficiency of transformation depends upon the plant materials, electroporation, and tissue treatment condition used for the transformation. About 40 to 50% incubated cells receive DNA, and about 50% of the transformed cells can survive. So here, this is the diagrammatically description of the electroporation technique, where you can use the plant cell or protoplast for the DNA uptake. And when the cells or protoplast are incubated with the foreign DNA, the electric shock is created, which helps the genetic material to be incorporated into the cell. And after incorporation, these and genetic material may be inserted into the plant genome for the protein expression. Now comes the point is ballistic or particle bombardment. It is the high velocity microprojectile where utilized to deliver the nucleic acid into the plant cells. And the advantages are the transformation of organized tissue, the which means we can use this type of technique for the transformation of callus, leaf, nodes, etc. And for all of these experiments, the delivery systems are universal. And the transformation of recalcitrant species, that means this technique can be used for the recalcitrant species also. The study of the basic plant development process, by which we can easily study this type of developmental process in plants. So it is the most powerful method for introducing a nucleic acid into the plants, because the helium pressure can drive microcarriers through the cell wall, and it is much easier and less time consuming than injecting nucleic acid into the plant cell or embryo. Also, it allows transformation of animal cells and that have unique growth requirements and that are not amenable to gene transfer using any other methods. It requires less DNA and fewer cells than other methods and can be used for the either transient or stable transformation. The principle is the principle lies inside the using of gold and tungsten particles. Those are coated with the DNA, and that is used to be transformed for the plant tissues. Transformation of plant tissues. The particles are propelled at high speed into the target plant material, where the DNA is released within the cell and can integrate into the genome. There are two types of plant tissues. Those are used for the particle bombardment. One is the primary explant, that means leaf nodes, callus. These can be used. Leaf nodes and other plant materials can be used. And second one is proliferating embryonic culture. That means the somatic embryonic callus are used for this type of particle bombardment technique. So this is the machine known as the gene gun, and this is the principle or technique by which the gene gun barrel is there, where the genetic material coated nanoparticles are kept on the plastic disc, and when the trigger is on, the pressure is created, which drives the DNA coated gold particles, and these discs stopped by the screen. When the disk is stopped by the screen, the DNA coated gold particles are sprayed over the target plant cells, and by force, these particles are inserted into the plant cell. Microinjection is the process by which the cell is manipulated under a microscope, holding the cell using some blunt capillary with gentle suction. With the micromanipulator, a fine pipette is inserted into the cytoplasm or nucleus, and by this type of micromanipulator, the DNA or RNA is injected directly into the nucleus of cytoplasm. The microinjection has been successfully used for plant protoplasts and tissues. So this is the process where the microinjection is depicted. This is the micromanipulator by which the total genetic material is inserted into the plant cell, and this technique was first used for the agrobacterium mediated DNA transfer, where the plant cell is transfected using the tDNA of agrobacterium, and with the agrobacterium, and this was the first case of physical DNA transfer in plant cells. The silicon carbide fibers or whiskers are used for the plant transfection also, and using during this type of silicon carbide fibers, using the DNA and silicon carbide fibers are co-cultured in a vortex machine, and during vortex, the fibers creates the puncture onto the plant cell wall and plasma membranes, through which the genetic material gain access to the inside of the cell. The drawback of this technique is to relate the availability of suitable plant materials and inherent danger of the fibers, which requires careful handling, and many cereals produce embryonic callus that is hard and compact and not easily transformed by this technique. And despite some disadvantage, this method is also used for the successful transformation of wheat, barley, and maize without need of cell suspension. So the silicon carbide fibers are around 0.6 micrometer diameter and 10 to 80 micrometer length, and the vortexing is an Eppendorf tube, a mixture of plasmid DNA encoding the selectable or screenable Merkel gene are used for the for this type of techniques. And DNA delivery in this system is presumably due to cell wall penetration by DNA coated by silicon carbide fiber. The cellular penetration is likely enhanced by the frequent and forceful cellular collision encounter into the vortex machine. The DNA bound to the fiber surface is carried into the penetrated cells and becomes integrated into the nuclear genome and stably transformed plant cells with the plant regeneration capacity will enable to the application of silicon carbide mediated. So this is the technique by which the DNA, whiskers, and target cells are co-cultured in a test tube, and this test tube is vortex, so that the whiskers make puncture into the cell wall, so that the DNA can be entered into the cell through these pores. The ultrasound mediated gene transfer, that is also known as sonoporation. It is the immersion of explant into the sonication buffer containing the plasmid DNA, and is then sonicated with an ultrasonic pulse generator at 0.5 watt per centimeter square acoustic intensity for 30 minutes. Then the samples are rinsed in buffer solution and then cultured for the growth and differentiation. The advantages are being simple method. It is very simple and inexpensive and multifunctional equipment is there, so that we can use it for any type of tissue, and there is no need to tissue culturist. Anyone can be done this type of process. And another one is known as liposome mediated gene transfer. I have already previously told this liposome is very much useful for the transfection of protoplast, because liposome is made up of the lipid bilayer, and also the protoplast is um, containing the cell wall, which is made up of lipid bilayer. When the genetic material containing liposome comes to closer to the lipid bilayer of protoplast, they fuse, and upon this fusion, the genetic material is inserted into the plant protoplast. So students, here I have completed the gene transfer method in plants, and please go through these slides, and if you have any question, you can ask me later. Thank you.